I've not seen a successful marriage without God being the rock and the foundation of that marriage.
I've seen
I
some
haven't.
terribly abusive marriages around religious systems that subjugate women, objectify women. The Bible is an extremely misogynistic book which paints women as the chattel property of men, and I think I think as a moral guide for how to run a relationship. It tells women that men are the head of the household. It tells women that they are less than men. It tells men that they should view women as essentially property to be bartered and bought and sold. I mean, think about the verses like I'm trying to think of one in particular.
Sorry, everything you just mentioned now, I don't want to interrupt you. Everything you just mentioned now,
Yeah,
as we go along, you called mine just my one thing BS just now. Everything you just mentioned now,
yeah.
that's all BS.
It's
That's all BS
it's not.
you
I'll give you
spoke
the
now.
exact. I'll give you the exact. What Deuteronomy 22:28. Right. I'm going to read it for you.
Yes.
If a man meets a virgin who is not engaged and seizes her and lies with her, means grapes her, and they are caught in the act, the man who lay with her shall give 50 shekels of silver to the young woman's father, not to her father, and she shall become his wife. Do you think that women should be forced to marry their grapists?
Um, I don't think it's out of force. I think it's out of that's the way things worked
That would be a yes
in
or no.
those.
That would be a yes or no. Do you think women should be forced to marry their rapists?
No,
No,
they're
but
rapists.
yeah, that's what that
They're
says.
rapists.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now, okay. Yes. Okay.
you think that they should
Um,
be married to, forced to?
well, they don't have a choice because they've been one
The
one.
goods have been damaged.
Bearing in mind
Yeah.
that the reason we started making this argument was I told you the Bible's misogynistic and treats women as property, and you said that's BS. I gave you an exact example of how women are treated as property, and your defense of that is, well, they do need to because they're kind of property.
So what will happen is, yes, you are speaking the truth there, because that person that went and raped that woman,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
he actually literally, in God's eyes, he married her because he went one flesh, one bone.
That's delightful.
Now,
What about the woman's interest? Do you
now,
think she's going to want to marry him?
um, no, but that's the law. That
And,
was his law. That's
and,
his
al-
Exactly.
and
mother's law.
also and also him compensating the
Her
father because
father.
he damaged it. Yeah, compensating because basically the message there is she's now damaged goods, damaged property that he can no longer sell off to marry somebody else. So now it's like you broke it, you bought it kind of thing. That's
I'm going to give you another one, just to
But you
show
must
to show you
before we
further.
go, just before we go off that subject. All right. I wasn't really prepared for that, but um, before you go off that subject, if that woman has been raped, okay, and that man is caught in the act, all right, raping her, okay, then he gets stoned to death.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he's. How could he be stoned to death if he'd just been ordered to marry her? That's ludicrous. He only
Because
gets.
she had no witnesses. She had no witnesses. She didn't cry wolf. She
That's
didn't do
that.
anything.
That's the instance in which they get caught outside the city. In that case,
Yes,
in that case, he would be stoned to death. But if it's not outside the city,
correct.
then he has to pay her father 50 shekels, and she has to marry
That's it.
him. That's absolutely disgusting. Here's another one for you, even more fun. If a man
Ah,
takes a wife and after sleeping with her dislikes her and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity, the young woman's father and mother shall bring to the town elders at the gate proof that she was a virgin. Her father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man. Bearing in mind, it's the father giving his daughter. It's not the woman deciding for herself, because women have no autonomy, but he dislikes her. Now he has slandered her and said, I did not find your daughter to be a virgin. But here is the proof of my daughter's virginity. Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town, and the elders shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels. However, if the charge is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity can be found, what do you think that proof might be, by the way? They're laying the cloth out, meaning the bed sheets from their first night. What proof are we talking about here, just so we're on the same page?
Well, proof that it was consensual.
No. Proof of her virginity. Proof of the woman's virginity would be what?
Proof of her virginity would be, well,
Basic biology.
there's-
You can do it.
there would be a lot of blood involved.
There might, right. So, if, however, the charge is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity can be found, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and the men of the town shall stone her to death. So, bearing in mind, we went into this discussion with me saying the Bible's quite misogynistic about women, and you said it's BS. Don't you think that this verse declaring that we should stone women to death if someone suspects she's not a virgin is a little dodgy? Is that an understatement?
Not dodgy. She wasn't honest from the beginning.
So first of all, if someone is a non-virgin on their wedding night, do you think they should be stoned to death? This is the first point.
If she's a non-virgin, doing what?
Do you think that a non-virgin who gets married should be
Yes.
stoned to death?
All right. In the first place, there's only one reason
It's a yes, no.
that if you're not,
It's just a yes, no.
If you're not,
No, I want a yes. I want a yes, no on this. I don't want
there's
excuses.
the one reason.
Are there any?
If you've committed adultery and if your husband has committed adultery,
Hang on. I'm going to hold you to this. I want a yes or no on this question. Okay, I want a yes or no. Should non-virgins be stoned to death?
yes, I do. If they were
You think they
wayward,
should?
yes.
Right. What percentage of women bleed the first time they have sex?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a clue.
Less than 40. So this commandment would have resulted in at least 6 out of every 10 women accused under this crime would have been innocent of the charges because the people who wrote this barbaric bullshit didn't know basic facts about biology. Do you think that God, being the creator of the entire universe and all living things within it, would be ignorant about the details of his own design? We started the conversation talking about the architect and the house, knowing the wiring and the electrical systems. Does God know basic details of biology?
Hey, God knows everything.
Right. So God would have known that 6 out of 10 of these women who didn't bleed were innocent. Why did he make this
That's
law?
correct.
Why did he make this law?
Okay.
Is it just for 6 out of every 10 women to be stoned to death for a crime that they didn't even commit? Is that just?
No, but he made this law. You can't just go claim this and this has happened. You need witnesses.
No, I'm asking you, even if this
Right.
never
They're not
happened,
gonna
I'm
throw
asking you if it's just for God to make a law that, if followed, would have resulted in
If they follow
60%,
properly, yes, and you've got the
60%,
witnesses, yes.
60% of the women who would have been
Yes.
stoned to death would have been innocent. Is that just?
If they're innocent and they've got their witnesses, yes.
It's just to
No,
stone
no,
innocent
no.
women to death.
Like, if they've got their witnesses, then they are not guilty. But if they have no witnesses,
The Bible says nothing about witnesses.
I think you're very confused. If there's not blood on the sheets, then those people thought the woman is not a virgin and therefore we must stone her to death. I'm asking you if that would have been just.
well, let's put it this way. Like I said,
It's just a yes or a
we
no.
have
Just a yes or a no.
We have a God.
No. Don't change the subject. I want an answer to this. Is it just
That
to stone
I would leave-
innocent
I
women
would-
to death?
That I would leave to God.
I'm
Because
asking
he's
you if your conception of justice involves killing innocent women. This shouldn't be a difficult question.
killing innocent women. No, that wouldn't
No.
be just.
It wouldn't be just. And yet, here we have God's law that would have resulted in 6 out of 10 women stoned to death being innocent of the crime right? And Deuteronomy 32:4, he is the rock, his
The rock,
works are
the rock,
perfect, and
perfect
all
is
his
his.
ways are just. But you've
It
just said
says
that, but you,
the
yeah,
rock perfect is
uh-huh,
his
uh-huh.
activity.
And all
Wow.
his ways are just. Is it just to
Okay.
stone
The way
innocent
of the
women to
true
death?
God, the way of the true God, the accuracy of that is the way of the true God is perfect.
Right,
The saying of God is refined.
right.
He is a shield to all those taking refuge in him.
This is called coping. This is what coping is. This is where there's a big old
You
dose
see?
of copium happening right now, right? Because
No,
I made the claim,
and then you've
that
got
this
the
belief
next verse.
system that this belief system is misogynistic. I showed you two concrete examples where women are objectified and
No,
treated
but
as the
I'm
property
proving
of
you
men.
scripturally that you're wrong because the next verse says, "For all his ways are
Yeah,
justice."
exactly.
All right.
But you've just
Now, an
agreed with me
accuracy.
that his ways aren't just because they would have
No, I'm going to
involved
give you
the
the Bible.
stoning of 6 out of 10 women being innocent. So
The,
justice doesn't involve
the,
stoning innocent women to death,
no,
does it?
no, they agree. The accuracy of what I've just said is he loves righteousness and justice.
He doesn't.
The earth is filled
He
with
doesn't.
God's loyal
No, no,
love.
no, no, no. He doesn't like righteousness and justice because if he did, he wouldn't be stoning
So are
innocent
you
women to
calling God
death.
a liar?
Yep. I'm
Are you
calling the
calling
I'm
him a
calling the
liar?
Bible writers a liar is because it's full of nonsense. One minute they
But how
claim
can you
that
the
he's
Bible writers are inspired by God? All scripture is inspired by God.
yeah, well then
How do you know that?
it's I mean that's it's a load of nonsense.
Go read 2 Timothy 3 verse 16.
Yeah, okay.
It's not man's
Yeah.
thoughts, it's God's thoughts.
Well, then he should have thought a little bit better, shouldn't he, before designing a law that misunderstands basic biology and results in 60% of women, innocent women, being killed because he doesn't understand the biology of the people he created.
No,
And
he
you're now
understands it
calling
very
that
well.
justice, right?
No, you call him I'm not calling that justice.
You are.
I'm calling that loyal love, and I'm calling that God knows everything.
Well,
You are human. You are human.
I'm just reading you
All right?
verses from your own book, my friend, and showing you the
No,
inconsistency there.
you cannot put your God to the test. That's one of the
That's a
commandments.
fantastic swivel, but that's not what we're talking about. I showed you.
Again, it's not a swivel, it's a fact.
It's a swivel as hard as I've ever seen. You're ice skating now. I've shown you an example where women are treated as bits of meat, killed casually by men on the suspicion they may be not virgins. When they are virgins, they just happened not to bleed in a satisfactory way. And then I showed you a verse saying, you agreed with me that that wasn't just. Then I showed you a verse saying, all his ways are just, even though we'd just seen one that isn't just. This is a load of BS.
No. Then we go to a God of faithfulness who is never unjust. He's never unjust.
Well, that's delightful, except I've just shown you one instance where he
And then
was.
you go back to Deuteronomy and it says, for every unjust person who does such things is detestable to God. So you can't go stone an innocent woman
Except
and she's innocent.
except God's laws
Except it's
demanded
right there in the
exactly
verse.
that. It's right there. You can't
So
get
we
away
got
from
to-
it.
all
Shall
right,
I read
I'm
it to you
not
again?
getting away.
Do you want me to read it again?
No, we're going to need about a 2-hour session here for me to show you
no.
that you are totally wrong.
What, wrong.
Again.
I've just read you verses from your book. That's all
All
I've
right.
said.
You don't know. You are a creation of God. Nobody knows you better
Well,
than God.
that's the claim.
Where you are sitting right now, okay, may you put it into your heart.
This is a
to
very
go
major
and pick up a
this is a
Bible.
very major changing of the subject, and I don't blame you for changing the subject because the subject's fucking horrible. So I understand why
Yeah.
you're trying to change the subject and pivot to something else. But
Please,
let's just
I-
recap for a moment. I'm just going to mute you just for a second. I'll unmute you in a second. Just a recap here. This discussion started because you made the claim that marriages can't work unless they're to do with God. And I said that's not true, and I find the Bible very misogynistic to women. You said no, it isn't. At which point, I then showed you two specific examples of the Bible being misogynistic to women, including one that declared that 6 out of 10 innocent women would be stoned to death for not doing anything wrong. You agreed with me that that wasn't just. And then we looked at a verse after that saying that everything God does is just. Well, I've not made any claim other than showing you what's in your book. Love it if you did.
Notwithstanding that even if they're not virgins, stoning them to death is absolutely barbaric.
Completely depraved.
All right, now in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 27, I'm just going to give you this and then I'm going to part with you. All right, because I'm not going to sit here and listen that God is a liar, because he cannot lie. And he's a righteous God.
I don't think he exists at all.
And he's a God of love.
He's a made-up character in a storybook. He's a person in a bedtime story, my friend.
So
sorry to break it to you.
So why are you sitting speaking to me?
Well, you called in.
Whose breath are you breathing? Whose breath are you breathing now? Whose breath are you breathing now?
That's got nothing to do with anything.
Was it some magical little trick when you were born? Who gave you life?
Next, we're going to say, look at the trees. Look at the trees.
No, who gave you life? Who's the life giver? God. God gave you life.
God
My
wasn't
parents
involved.
had sex.
Yep.
Your parents gave you nothing.
Well, it wasn't God who went through the labor, honestly.
You're trying to make a mockery of the word of God, your
dear.
creator.
Oh, dear.
And no matter what you think, you are God's creation.
I think it's really disgusting that people in the 21st century, in the age of the Hubble Deep Space Field, quantum computing and genome sequencing, believe this drivel. I really do think it's terrible. And I think I'm listening to you, and what it's turned you into is like a foaming at the mouth maniac. You've been defending killing innocent women. Listen to yourself, man. That's absolutely awful.
Now you've exchanged the truth for a lie.
I just read you verses from your own book.
Okay. All right. So I would go rethink what you're saying and what you
Gavin,
think.
Gavin, we've been going at it pretty hard. I have a honest question for you, honestly. If you have proof that a unmarried woman has sex before marriage, let's say in South Africa, they propose changing the laws to follow God's laws. Would you be okay with that, with women being stoned to death?
Yes. If it's God's law, yes.
Wow.
The most despicable cruelty is good if God says it. So when God, tells people to go and kill another tribe and kill every last man, woman, child, baby, swords through the hearts of babies, it's all wonderful if God said it. This is only religion can do this to people. Only religion.
No, it's God's will. It's God's creation. It's his.
Yes.
The whole world, including you. You are his creation. He can do whatever he decides to do.
Do you know what?
It's his will,
I couldn't have imagined a better demonstration for the final call of the night to vindicate my presence on this platform doing this stuff. Honestly, I will say to you, thank you for the conversation, Gavin, but it's been a real it's been a real gift. If anyone is ever in any at a loss for why I might do this, it's conversations like this fill me with a sense of so much purpose to help people to escape from this toxic, disgusting belief system that objectifies women, cheapens life, lifts up murder, lifts up killing, genocide, infanticide. It's really, really appalling, and only religious systems can do this to people. Only religious systems can make people hold to these kind of views. Only religion can do that to people. It's really, really sad.
Religions, I agree with you, but not true Christians.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Funnily enough, the truer you get in this faith, the worse the stuff gets. But we do thank you for the conversation, Gavin.
No, thank you. I thank you. And you seem to be a nice guy. I have no problem with it at all. I wasn't planning. I just believe, and I'm going to go out with these words, that you have no clue of the accuracy of God's scripture, which he left you as a letter.
Well, that's the end of the sermon. That's the end of the sermon there. We don't do sermons in here. I actually think I actually think that you're slightly less of a nice guy, and I say that with a heavy heart because I don't like to attack people. I like to attack ideas, but somebody who can be so sanguine about innocent women being stoned to death, and then the other people, all the women were innocent, whether they were virgins or not. All of them were innocent. Nobody should be stoned to death. But the idea that even under that system, even if you're going to implement that kind of horrific, barbaric law, the idea that you would be totally fine about 6 out of every 10 of those women having not even broken that law is really disgusting. I mean, really disgusting. Time to check yourself, my friend. That was just disgusting. That was obscene. I feel like I need to go and take a shower now.